Preet and Mary. Did you know the name of the shop? And then I'll have an introduction, and then we'll have there is a question if Dr. Chand can answer it, and then we can meditate together. I'll put master, and after master, we'll meditate together. So, Ma'am Preet, welcome with the shop.
Thank you. Hello there, my name is Manpreet, and today I would like to sing a hymn for you, for Ishwar Prodigy. It is called Mary, Did You Know? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you've delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will calm a storm with his hands? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? When you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God. Oh, Mary, did you know? The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creations? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? This sleeping child you're holding is the great I am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. And I see my master Santakar Singh behind you, blessing you, and Sant Kirpal and Baba Sawan Singh. What a blessed soul you are. And thank you so much. I will hope you always will sing for us and your mom also. We also miss your mom singing. So thank you so much. Okay, cool. Okay, my dear holy family, welcome to another day of satsang, another day of love at the feet of the perfect master, Ishwar Puri Ji, and we sit together in his remembrance. We gather under his name, under his protection, and under his love, and we will meditate together after. And then when we meditate together, all blessing, all love is gonna descend on us from the perfect living master. And we're all gonna have good meditations. And I'm gonna now talk about how to have a good meditation for a few minutes, and how to have a successful meditation. So you know, in this world we are in the dimension of Maya, and in the dimension of Maya there is the ups and downs. There is the happiness, and there is happiness, and there is sadness. There is cruelty, and there is good noble deeds. This is how the dimension of Maya is. And people in this world, they're aspiring for happiness, and they want happiness through children, or through marriage, or through wealth, or through property, or respect, or power. They're looking for something. And these things are not perpetual. They do not stay forever. They are not lasting. They are not lasting, and they don't stay with us, and they are under the realm of Maya. Even the meditations of the meditator, even the yogi who does his practices, or somebody who does like sincere work in this world, or the intellectuals and the professors, all their hard work is also under Maya, and it doesn't cause liberation. So at some point when the soul starts to seek, and when the soul starts to be thirsty for the higher knowledge, then the master appears. And the master, when he appears, not everyone grasps his satsang. not everybody understands his words because our minds, our brains are at different levels of evolution. And a person who is very engrossed in the worldly knowledge of this world is hard for him to grasp spirituality. I remember when I was young, my neighbor, he was Armenian and he was so smart. He always got like A's in his classes, and everybody respected him. Even like when I used to play chess with him, I never won. Maybe once, and I cheated. But this is how like he had like a great, like a big expanded mind and intellect. And he even built a jet plane when we were young, a jet plane that could fly. Now, when I told him about Santakar Singh, and he came from California to see Santakar Singh, and he listened to Santakar Singh, and he was telling me at the end that he's so primitive, you know, and I'm like, primitive? What do you mean primitive? He's talking all about love, about the kingdom of God and God, you know, and he wanted more like, I think because he comes from a scientific point of view, he wanted like spirituality to be explained with protons and electrons, and that's why we have like people like Dr. Chand, and we have people like Ishwarji, who are scientists and who can explain spirituality through science. So after many years, when I met Ishwarji, I sent him a video of one of the scientific videos of Ishwarji explaining spirituality. But even then, he did not say anything. He did not reply because I think, you know, his mind is not evolved to that degree that he can grasp spirituality. So yes. So in order to grasp the satsang of the master, the mind has to be still. If the mind is not still, and if the mind is jumping from here to there, from here to there, then even the people who stay close to the master, who live in close proximity to the master, they get very little. They get very little from being close to the master because the mind is agitated. And that's why Simran is given. So Simran is charged by the power of the master, and Simran, it stills the mind, it stills the body that we can even withdraw out of the body and forget about the body consciousness, and it keeps us it keeps our sanity, and makes the mind fresh, makes the mind always fresh, and keeps us in our sanity. So the way to meditate is, they say, like when you repeat Simran, Baba Fakir Chang said that just like when you thread a needle into the hole and you are so much concentrated, this is how you should do Simran, with full concentration. With full concentration, you do the Simran. That's how your mind can get quiet and still. And the next step after Simran, you know, there is Dayan, which is the form of the master. So the form of the master, it's very important to imagine the master, like imagine an occasion you had with the master when he talked to you, when you had a personal interview, or any of the occasions you were with the master. Imagine that and concentrate on his forehead. Can you mute everybody, please, Puneet? And on his concentrate on his forehead, his face, and his eyes. And keep your concentration even without a blink, like, keep your concentration very deep attention on the face of the master. And that face of the master, when you keep the Dayan, it might even change to light. Like, you know, you imagine the master, you're looking at the master with full attention, and it could change into light. And then if you when you see that light, melt yourself in the light. And when you melt yourself in the light, the inner master might appear, and you might be fortunate to get a satsang. And that is the real knowledge that comes from within. So this is the Dayan. You know, you keep full attention on the face of the master, that can manifest the master, manifest the light of the master. So So even when we sit in meditation or when we go to satsang, our attention should be like if we go to satsang where the master is, you know, imagine that Almighty is sitting in him and Almighty is sitting in him. So you imagine that Almighty is sitting in him, and when you are in the court of God, you should be humble, you should have a full attention, you should have love, you should have trust, and just like the son in front of his father is always respectful, and the father with his son doesn't do anything that is not respectful. There is respect. The same thing, like when you sit in the when you see an officer like a king or an army officer of high rank, you have respect for them and you put all your attention upon them, and because of fear, humbleness, respect, all these things. The same way, when you sit inside, you have the same attention. You put your full attention and forget about the world outside, about the mental desires, and keep your full attention on the master, on the form of the master inside, by repeating Simran with full attention, like I said, like you thread a needle. So these hints like really help in meditation, really help in meditation to have a successful meditation. So when you go see the master in satsang outside, when we go see the master outside in satsang, we have to have our like full attention on his forehead and on his eyes without blinking an eye, without blinking an eye. If we put all our attention on the master without blinking the eyes, there is a wavelength that of truth and knowledge that is emitting from the master. And if our thought is agitated, you block that wave that is coming, the wavelength that's coming from the master. So you know, put all your questions after satsang and just keep your attention totally on the master, unblinking, without blinking your eyes, to get all this radiation, the wavelength of love, the wavelength of knowledge, and then listen with attention to every word he says. And if you do that, guess what? If you do that, you will slip into samadhi. You will slip into deep meditation while listening to the master outside. That if you have that full attention, full concentration on the master without blinking an eye, then you will find yourself boop, into samadhi, into deep meditation, out of body, that the master will pull you out of body. That is how, when we are receptive to the wavelength of the master. So, so this is one thing. Another thing that is good for our benefit is that when the company we keep is very, very important, because every person has a radiation. The law of radiation is there and has been proven by science that the company we keep is very, very important. So when we keep the company of somebody who is worldly and and engrossed into the Maya, the worldly people, then that radiation affects us, and nobody can escape that radiation unless you're keeping full Simran. That also helps, but still the radiation comes, and we are affected by the company of the people. So that's why the saints and masters say, as much as possible, keep the company of the holy, keep the company of people who are on the same path, and with the worldly people, do what is necessary, the basic minimum of what you have to do. Do it, and don't go beyond that. Don't go out of your way to spend time with like people who are on the radiation. They are emitting the wavelength of the worldly, of the Maya, of the world. Just do the bare minimum, even with your friends and family that are not still on the holy path. You know, do the minimum, the only what you have to do, and let them know that your body is for them, your money is for them, your time is for them, but your heart belongs to God. Your heart, you belong to God, not to anyone else of this world. So yes, So with the attention on the master in meditation or in satsang, even the mesmerisms, the people who do mesmerism, they like concentrate on a point of the wall. And when they concentrate on the point of a wall, they keep looking at that point and they imagine that point to become a flower. And at some point, the mesmerists, when they keep their attention on a point on the wall, that point becomes a flower. And when that point becomes a flower, they gain a lot of siddhas, like a lot of magical power. And they could make somebody bark or somebody sing, or they could do so many things. If you ever been with people who hypnotize and mesmerize, I've been with them like in college, and I've seen, they could not affect me, but they affected so many people of my friends, and they made them bark, and they made them imagine that they are naked and all that, you know, and people like believed it, and they were like covering themselves. And so that is how they attain their power, by concentration. So when you concentrate on the image of the master, whether outside or inside, all your subconscious desires will be fulfilled. All your subconscious desires will be fulfilled. So this is one thing that we can do to have courage, to have patience, to have courage and patience, and sit with humble respect, behold the image of the master with all love, all trust, respect. Just have respect, because God is in you. And when you sit in meditation, if you have that respect, then your mind will not be agitated. Because when the mind gets agitated and starts to think here and there, the saints and masters say that is disrespect. That is disrespect for the master who is residing in you. So so to have fruitful meditation, you have to have respect. You have to keep your attention. Now, if for any reason that you cannot keep your attention, that your mind is so agitated because of some problem, then you don't have to meditate. You could like repeat the mantra in your head, or you could read holy scriptures, or you could listen to shabds or sing holy scriptures to God. That will help you to calm the mind. So all these steps are necessary, because we have to grasp what the master says. We have to sit in his presence without our mind agitated. And when we sit without our mind agitated, then the wavelength of knowledge, of truth that is coming from him, that will go inside you. And when you start to take his words and live in the practical way, live up to these words in practice in your worldly life, then this is when you become fearless. This is when you become happy and intoxicated in God and in the master. So when you grasp his words and his words go into your heart and you start to live upon them. So it's a practice. It needs patience. It needs patience and perseverance, that we sit and we keep trying to have full attention on our Simran, try to listen to the Simran, keep the image of the master, his forehead and his eyes in front of us, and concentrate on that while doing Simran, and that will change into light. We melt ourselves into the light. And then, like I said, if we are fortunate souls, then we see the inner master and he will give us satsang inside, which is the true knowledge. So these are just tips that I heard from the saints who have been on this path, and who can give us all the tips of good meditation. And I keep trying, persevering, because as I said, we have to keep trying and we have to be patient. So now, if Dr. Chand is there, there is a question that came up to me from a disciple, and I said I will ask this question to Dr. Chand. Chand,
okay.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. I'm
cool.
with you.
Wonderful. So the question that came up from one of the disciples is that, do perfect masters start from the fourth planet and then they develop themselves while they are masters to such Khand? This is one of the questions. There's another question. You can answer this question and then.
Okay, because it is our part, our hard work to go to the level that we can see the radiant form of the master. From there onwards, the master takes you up. And we got to work hard to reach that stage, because we got to cross this physical mind, then we go to the astral and causal. And that is where we see the master in its radiant form, and then the master takes us further. But our hard work to reach that point is most important. And that's what I'll say, that the further journey the master takes you along with. So that this strong desire to be there, so your everyday things. Now, Michael was talking about that suppose if the mind is so much disturbed, what to do then? Then he said, you read some books or listen to satsang, etc. But the best thing, once the mind is disturbed, you got to attach yourself with the Shabad. And it is only the Shabad which can make the mind calm, And that's what is most important. And that's what he was missing. I think he would have.
Yes, I forgot to say about the Shabad. I forgot to say about the Shabad.
Yeah, so I was listening to you so carefully, and I was really enjoying each point you were mentioning, and you are giving wonderful tips to everyone every day. And I really appreciate this part. Now, Michael, I would like to show you one of the pictures, It may be, Sarah might have sent you, but then it may be a surprise today.
Yes, I have sent.
Let me see. Hold on, let me see, because I can't see him now because you started talking. Let me see. Can you talk, Chand? Can you talk?
Yeah, I can talk. This is what is the photograph of Thakur Singh Ji along with my mother.
Wow.
Can you see that?
Where is your mother? Which one is your mother?
On the, if I see from here, then it is on the left. Not exactly behind, but along with him.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Me and Sarah, our Devi, were wondering if that's your mom or not.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Thakur Singh Ji is also there.
Wow, that's a big, wow. So happy to see that. So happy.
So I thought I must show you this photograph.
Wow.
And that's how it is. Wow. And most of the saints, visited our place. And there were a few more photographs which Sarah would have sent you. And there are many of them who visit.
Can I say something, give more tip?
Yeah.
Can? Mike?
Yeah, yes.
Regarding the Shabbat, at my best days and years of very good meditation, I remember that I used to go to all the time with this keeping very strong, holding very strong, the feelings that we have when we are there inside up, like I'm continue listening to the Shabbat.
Wonderful.
And so it kept me very, very much, there. And then when I was sitting to meditate, I was, taken very, very quickly inside. So it is very nice all the time to think that these feelings all the time with us, not only these feelings in the body. Okay, that's what I want to say.
That's great. So what is the next question, Michael?
The next question is, you didn't answer the first question, I was gonna ask, like Sant Kirpal, Sant Ajaib, like Sant Thakur, like when those masters, when they start, or Ishwar, they start from the fourth planet and then they become total. That's my question.
Right. That's right. That's what I was saying, that you rise from the astral to the causal and to the upper areas, And once you can see, instead of mentioning each stage, straight away, let us keep on pursuing for the radiant form of the master. Until the time we see that, it becomes very easy without counting those levels. So I don't mention about these levels. I straight away say that it is your effort to see the master till the time you can see that radiant form. your job is not done. So once you reach that stage, then the master takes you further. So instead of all the time, the mind sometimes thinks about stages and sometimes it feels a little discouraged that I have not reached there. So I don't mention this part. I straight away say that you should keep on working hard to see the radiant form of the master. And if you keep on gazing, as you very rightly said, that if you keep on watching inside, then things start happening. And if the master appears, then you said that we should look at the center of his, first of all in his eyes, and then at the center of his head. And that is what is a deeper concentration there, and that is what helps you to take to the next stage. That's what is my answer to this.
Okay. Okay. And then there was another question from the same person, and he was asking, like the radiation of the people, does the radiation of the people affect the master?
Yes, it does, because he has got that power to absorb all that, because he's divine and he can absorb. Say if there is a bad person, his radiations or his karmas, and he is able to absorb them because his light is much more, and then it really gives the solace to the disciple much more. Then he absorbs all your bad things, all your bad karmas he takes over.
Okay. Yeah, those were the two questions. If you want to add anything, we have like 4 minutes and then we can play master and meditate all together with you and everyone.
Yes.
Do you want to add anything for the next 4 minutes?
Anybody else with any question? I don't think there is any question now.
Okay.
If there is anybody
So
who can
I
ask
can play master, and then we
Yeah,
can meditate together and enjoy the grace of master all together.
That's right.
Okay,
right. Sorry, Michael, I'll have to leave today
okay.
because I'm in the ashram. I'll have to go home.
Okay.
So in
right.
that case, I may leave today. I may not be able to sit with you today.
Okay.
We will plan it for tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
I'll be there tomorrow with you in the meditation.
Okay, wonderful. Okay.
That's right.
I'll put master now. Cool.
Thank you. Please do that. I'll listen to the master first and then go.
With our mind. The mind was created so we could have experiences in this kind of creation, which we call creation in time and space. Time is a very big factor in this creation. Time has also been called by its Hindi equivalent, Sanskrit equivalent, Kal. Kal has been called a negative power. Time is the only negative power we have here. Because if we do not have time, we will not have any karma, we will not have to deal with pralabdha, we will not have to deal with problems, we will not have to deal with anything that we are dealing with today and creating a mess in our life. So that is why the only thing that is negative in this creation is time, or called the negative power. Everything else is wonderful. Time is created by the mind, and therefore mind is considered an agent of Kal, agent of time. We are using our mind to live in Kal, to live in time. How does the mind function? It functions through thinking, through thoughts. And also it functions by making sense of our perceptions. The perceptions are created in the mind so we can see what is being created outside in time. So if we don't perceive, we can't know what is happening. Therefore, mind has a perception in addition to working in time. And the perception of the mind is a direct information what is outside. But to make it more interesting and better, on top of the mind which surrounds our soul, our own self, lies another body which we sometimes call an astral body or Suksham Sharir, which breaks the perception into different sense perceptions. Therefore, seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling, they become separate. This second body which separates the senses, we call it the astral body or the Suksham Sharir. On top of that, we wear a physical body which we call Asthul Sharir or physical body, which we are using to have the experience of creation in a physical form, material form. It is simple that we have three bodies covering ourselves. The physical body, when we wear a physical body, the whole experience becomes physical and material. What is the difference between sense perceptions of the astral body and the physical body? Only difference is physical body has physical matter in it. Astral body does not. Everything else is the same. When we add physical matter to astral body, it becomes physical body. While we are wearing a physical body, our only reality is physical reality. That is why all of us sitting here are living in a physical reality, and that is the only thing we can think is real. Everything else is imaginary. Everything else is somewhere in the mind. Whether we have a soul or not, nobody knows. It's all in the mind. Do we actually have astral bodies? Are they separate from us? Nobody knows. Do we have a mind separate from the body? We don't know. It looks everything is part of the physical body. All the doctors, scientists confirm that the physical body and the brain contain everything that we are experiencing. So therefore, the whole reality gets bound down by one item. Just by having a physical body, the whole reality becomes physical. And we can't change it. We have another experience in the body, that is when we go to sleep at night. When we go to sleep, we have dreams. In the dreams, we also see another world. And in the dreams, our body behaves different than this physical body. For example, in a dream, you can go from one place, you will be Pune now, in 1 second you will be in Delhi, 1 second you will be somewhere else, and it looks normal. Nobody has ever questioned during a dream, how has it happened? Suddenly I was just one place, now I'm another place. It's a natural law of a dream. If it happens in physical plane, we'll freak out. How can we suddenly be somewhere else? So the laws of each level of experience are different. The laws of the dream world are different. If we fall in the dream, we don't get hurt. If we fall here, we get hurt. So similarly, when we have a body which is not physical, which means only astral or Suksham Sharir, or body with sense perceptions but not physical matter, the rules are different. What are the rules there? For example, in there we can remember things much earlier than ever happened in the physical body. People who vacate this body by meditation and can withdraw their attention from this body and wake up to the astral body, they are able to remember things that happened 100 years ago, 200 years ago, not happened to somebody else, to themselves. The memory expands, thereby showing us that that body has a longer life than the physical body. And this is an experience people have all the time when they vacate this body by withdrawing attention from it and going to the astral self. The astral self has the same mind, same soul, same being, same personality. Just like when you have a dream, the personality is the same. You can't say in the dream somebody else is dreaming. The same waking person says, I was having a dream, I was doing this in a dream. The I, the personality of who is in the dream, who is in the wakeful state, who is in the astral state, who is in the causal state, who is the Atma, who is in Sachkhand, is the same all the time. The only thing that never changes is the self, the feeling of the self. Everything else changes. Therefore, people say, if you want to find reality, what is real, that which never changes. The only thing that is real is our own true self. And that self we are feeling now, that is how we are using our body. And that same self is in the dream when we go about. No matter what our form in the dream may be, self is the same. Same self is there in meditation when you go to higher levels. Same self is the same self when you are in Sachkhand. Self never changes. Therefore, if you want to find truth and reality, it says, go and find your own self. Know thyself. Started from Socrates and is going on till today. Find your own Atma, find your own true self, who you are. The spiritual path, no matter what name you give to it, is to find your own true self. Who are you using this body? Are you merely some kind of a life that has flown from somewhere? Or can you discover a greater sense in the self that you are using right now? So when we are initiated by a perfect living master, he gives us the method of meditation so that we can discover that there is something else in our body, the other bodies inside, which are functioning differently and with different laws operating there. The method is very simple. We have made it difficult, but the method of finding the inner bodies is very simple. What is the method? Method is, where are we operating from when we are awake here? Where are we thinking? Where are we questioning? Where are we deciding what to say, what to hear? It's all in the head. Our life is basically being run by small portion, which is just the face and the head. Small portion of the body. Rest is all attached. You will notice eyes are in the head. Ears are right there. Nose is here. Mouth is there. Tongue is here. Everything that we are using 99% of the time is all here. Therefore, this is the area in which we really live and reside, even here and physically. But where are we thinking from is not even the mouth and the nose, it's from the head, from the brain. The position, if we want to say, if I am merely a unit of life, where am I operating from? Where am I sitting in this body to run the body? It doesn't take long. You are not sitting in the hands, you are not sitting in the feet, not sitting in the arms and legs, nor in the torso. You are sitting in the head. Where exactly in the head? If you close your eyes and say, where am I sitting now? If I'm only one unit, doesn't take long. You're sitting behind the eyes. How far are you sitting behind the eyes? That can be determined by a very simple thing, that if we are looking at this world with two eyes, the two eyes are seeing two different pictures, but we see only one. How do we combine the two pictures? Two eyes cannot see the same thing. That is why they create 3D movies nowadays, by which they put glasses on us to combine the image of the two eyes. They put two pictures on the screen and we see one and become three-dimensional. Do you know the same process is taking place now? That because we have two eyes seeing two different things, and we combine them and they create a distance and we feel a distance. Where do they combine? Not outside. They combine inside. If you carefully examine this, you will notice they combine right back in the head, in the center of the head. Exactly between the ears, behind these eyes. I can give a little geometry about it. If you draw two lines behind the eyes to the back of your head and draw one line between the ears, where this line between the ear crosses those two lines, the little space in the middle is exactly where we are sitting. And that portion, because it combined the two eyes, has often been called the third eye. The third eye is nothing more than where we are sitting right now looking at the world. Sometimes people tell me, oh, I'm searching for third eye. I said, do you know where you are searching from? You are searching from the third eye. You are searching for something where you are already sitting. There is no way we can see anything outside except from the third eye behind the eyes. Therefore, the self, which is looking out from the eyes is obviously in the head, between the ears, behind these eyes, at the third eye center. If that is so, then to go toward the self, to find out what the self is, the best thing is to go there. But how do we go? Our idea of going is walking, flying, things all outside. How can we go inside our own self? How can we go inside our head? We can go with our imagination. We can go with our attention. These are big gifts given to human beings, that they have power to imagine things, and they have power to use attention, and they have third power to concentrate their attention. Three biggest gifts given to human beings alone, out of all the kingdoms of species and life form. Human beings have these three things. They can imagine something. Supposing I were to tell you, imagine you are sitting on top of this house. Most of you will be very easily able to feel, yes, maybe I am there, just an imagination. If I say you are walking on top of the house, you can imagine you are just walking. Now when you imagine you are walking, you are not imagining a different body, you are imagining the same body is walking up there. This body is sitting here, but your imaginary body is sitting there. What is the imaginary body? If I say the imaginary body is on top of the roof of this building, can you see something? I think most of you will say, yes, we can see the top of the roof. Imaginary body can see. If I tell you, can you touch something? You say, yes, we can touch. Can you smell flowers up there? If you try, you can smell flowers up there. If you want, you can do anything of the sense perceptions with your imaginary body. What is this imaginary body that can have all the sense perceptions, and yet your physical body is sitting here? The imaginary body is nothing more than your astral self, your Suksham Sharir. And this we don't realize because we say Suksham Sharir is more real than the physical body. How can imaginary body be more real? We do not understand where does imagination come from. How does the brain create something by itself and imagine our whole self somewhere else? How is it possible? The truth is, it only comes from the astral plane. There is no other plane from where imagination can come. All imagination comes from the same area. That is why the method to use for putting your attention inside is use your imagination, use your attention, and to make sure you are there for a long time, use your power of concentrating your attention. Simple. Method is very simple. Imagine you are sitting in the head. Imagination, if you close your eyes, how big is your head? If you open your eyes, it's very small. If you close your eyes, it's very big. The whole darkness around is very big. It's not confined to this head. If you open your eyes, it's a small head. Close your eyes, there are all the blank space around you. So when you sit there, you are not trying to make yourself small to fit into a head. You are the same size, like you imagined on the roof. Now you are imagining you're sitting here. This is so important that many people don't think this is important. Therefore, they think meditation means repeating the words of Simran mantra given to us with closed eyes, and we keep repeating the words. Nothing happens. Naturally, because our attention is all outside. Simran does not mean the repeating of words. What does Kabir say in his Doha? Mala to kar mein phire, kar means hand. Mala to kar mein phire, jeeb phire mukh mail. Manva to chaho desh phire, jai to Simran nahi. This is not Simran means repeating words. So Simran is, what is Simran then? Simran is when the mind is doing Simran and you are sitting inside the head. That is Simran. Simran should never be done with the physical body if you want to have experience. Simran should always be done with your astral self, your imaginary self inside the head. Great master, Baba Sawan Singh, whose teachings I am sharing with you, whose experiences that I got from his teachings I am sharing with you, made it very clear that you must first Imagine you are sitting in the head before you start meditation. And this, some of my friends have been meditating for 40 years, 50 years, with no result, because they never did step number one. Step number one is so important that you first imagine yourself there. I was initiated when I was very young, and took me many years to try to sit there. I said, how can you sit in a small head like this? Then he gave me one day, went back to him, and he gave me this simple example, which I've shared with so many of you already. And that is, he said, raise your finger like this and take it right up where you cannot see it. I said, I cannot see my finger, it's right up. He said, can you imagine that you have lifted yourself up from the chair and gone right up? I said, I can imagine. I am just seeing myself going up, feeling. Do you feel you are on top of the finger? I said, yes, I can feel it's imaginary. I can imagine I'm on top of the finger. He said, are you still on the top of the finger? I said, yes. Bring the finger slowly down. Are you still there? I said, I am still there. Are you still on the finger? I said, yes, I am. Bring it in front of the eyes. Are you still on the finger? I am, yes. Jump in. I jumped in the space with the eyes closed. I was there. It was a simple way of telling that the space inside is huge with eyes closed. The whole of you with your imagination jump in. When I jumped in, I found that I was behind these eyes. And I could feel the ear, this body became huge, that I could feel I was fitting in very beautifully all over. Step one, most essential before even starting Simran. And most of my friends told me they never did this. When I went to America, first time, I told them the importance of this. They said, we have never read about it. Where we have got books from great masters, they don't say that. I said, I have not read any books in India. I might try to read now. Can you give me any book of great master? They said, yes, we have a book called Spiritual Gems, which are letters written by great master to his American disciples, very popular book. I said, can I have a copy so I can read it? I took a copy of Spiritual Gem, read all night, and marked wherever, in whichever letter great master said, you must sit in the third eye center before meditating. I marked it. I marked 11 places in that book where he emphasizes the same point. People read what they want to read, they miss the real thing. So that is why I am sharing this with you. If you want to be successful in meditation and not do it as a ritual, not do it because we used to go to temple, to mandir one day, we used to go to church one day, now we go to satsang. How does that make a difference? You fall in one religion, you made their Santmat spirituality into another religion. That is not the purpose of meditation. Meditation is a practical way to find out who you really are. And that can be found out, first step, imagine you are there. Then meditate. What is meditation? We are told to repeat certain words. Given a mantra or Simran, what is the value of repeating those words? Value is simple. Our thoughts are mostly in words. Our thoughts are actually the same language, same words we are using every day, and we repeat the words which have no real meaning in our thoughts and repeat those words to replace the words of thought so that the mind cannot think too much. If we concentrate our attention on those words, we can stop the mind from thinking anything except the words. What is the secret of concentrating attention on the words? Secret is listening to them, not repeating, listening. And we sometimes repeat but don't listen to what we are repeating. We do not realize that in our head there are two faculties, the mind and the soul. They function very differently. The mind speaks always. The soul listens always. Never forget this. In the head, the soul is the listener always. The mind is the speaker always. So we repeat those words with the mind. If we don't listen, the mind can run away anywhere because we are somewhere sitting and not attending to the words. The mind speaks and runs away. But if we become listeners and listen carefully to the word, The more attentively we listen, the more our concentration of the mind is on listening, the more the mind will be under your control. Therefore, meditation will work. Now, when you begin to listen, you enhance your listening ability compared to speaking ability. Then you begin to listen to the next step in meditation, listen to the sound of your own self. When you listen to the words you are repeating, the sounds that come from the head automatically start. There are people who say, we have been doing Simran for many years, we never hear the sound. And I tell them, start listening to the word you are repeating, sound will come. Listening creates the sound, not speaking. You keep on speaking, keep on thinking, keep on repeating, it doesn't help. Listening helps. Therefore, if you go to the next stage of your meditation, which is listening to the sound, listening to the shabd, listening to bhajan, then listen to the words you repeat to start with. When the other sound comes, then stop repeating those words. If you keep on doing both, you will not go anywhere. Because speaking is being done by the mind, listening by the soul. You're not going toward the soul, toward the self, if you keep on doing both. Therefore, you stop repeating, listen. Listening is the secret of this path. This path is called Surt Shabd Yoga. Surt means attention and Shabd means sound. Yoga means union with your true self. So Surt Shabd Yoga, which great Master Baba Sawan Singh taught me, is based on listening. The more you listen, the better your meditation will be. You listen to your word, then listen to sounds inside. Now there are many sounds inside. Many are physical. They're created by the body. You can even hear the heartbeat when concentrating attention. You can hear your breathing. You can hear other sound of the arteries and waves going through the head. There are so many sounds that come which are physical. There are many sounds which are not physical. They're just sensory from inside. You can listen to any sound for practice. These sounds that come from various directions are not the sound that is taking you toward yourself. The only sound that takes you to your own self is the sound coming from your own self right in the eye center, not from any side. I met some people, they said we were told that the
Okay, my dear Holy Family, if I see how the satsang of Ishwarji is perfect, if I forgot something, Master spoke about it by godly coincidence, and also Dr. Sean. So Master completes everything. And now we're gonna sit in meditation, we're gonna reap the benefit of satsang, of sitting together in his remembrance, in his power, in his grace, in his love, and we're gonna sit together, we're gonna forget about the body below and the world outside, and we're gonna come up here like he said, just like he told us the steps just now. We're gonna come in the middle of the head, repeat the Simran and listen to it, and imagine the Master and listen to the Shabd when it comes, and we're gonna enjoy God and the kingdom of God, and I will get you up in 25 minutes. So I hope you will all meditate and have great experience. Okay, my dear Holy Family, I hope you had a great meditation. I know it's not easy, but if you get few moments of bliss and joy, that is good. And practice makes perfect. So thank you so much for coming to Satsang. And I hope to see you tomorrow for another holy day in Holy Father God. Thank you so much.